3, 2, 1. Am I on? Hey guys, I'm on, and another Monday show. I love it, a Q&A, and we'll get started. I have a whole bunch of issues. I'm still have a cold, so I sound a little, weird, I guess, a little bit. And I'm trying to smoke a cigar. So as you could see, I might smoke a cigar. This way, either, if I'm going to die, I might as well die with a cigar in my hand. So I'm just going to hang in a little bit and relax with my cigar and all my people, my followers. I understand I have a whole new audience, which is great. I love them. People are wondering about their flags and different things, different colored things. That's gay pride, gay, whatever they call it, gay pride stuff. And I commented about men going to the bathroom in a woman's room and stuff like that. And I'm getting a lot of comments. Some of them negative, but most of them positive. They know I love them. Listen, all you gay people, I understand I got a whole bunch of comments from the gay community. I love you guys, I really do. There's the last people I want to hurt on earth is you guys. But you got to have the same feeling as me. It's one thing to be gay and proud and come out of the closet. I got gay people in my family, some family members who were gay, and so I don't dislike gay people at all. And but going to the bathroom in front of a 5 or 6 or 8 or 10-year-old girl, bro, come on, piss on the wall, piss wherever you gotta go piss, not in front of those kids. And, they're added all of these things, whether it's gay, whether it's Italians, whatever the fuck the argument is, leave kids out is my theory. And I'm cool with it, and I learned artwork in prison, and listen, I knew some gay people in prison who helped me do my artwork. They're very creative people, smart people. So let me light up.
Sammy, if you can get closer to the mic.
They're asking me to get closer to the mic. If I get this thing any closer to my mouth, they're going to say he's definitely fucking gay. Yeah, all right? Here. I got this fucking thing 3 inches away from my mouth. So, listen, if I offended you, I apologize. But I definitely meant no disrespect whatsoever. I love you guys, and like I said, in prison, I met a lot of, gay people, helped me with my artwork. In Hollywood now, I'm doing some movies and stuff like that, and there's a lot of gay people, and they're extremely smart and extremely creative people, And I don't care who does what in bed, but when it involves children, no matter what group it is, whether it's Sicilians coming off the boat, I'm against it. I'm against it. So that's my position. Not that I dislike you or not at all. Matter of fact, if you want to hang on to this every once in a while, the women are fucking neglecting me. Maybe you could fucking have a shot. I got a guy in, where the fuck is he from? I wonder if he's listening. He's from Iran. And he's sending me things with all hearts and all shit. So I says, bro, I thought they banned that shit in Iran. I said, they'll kill you. They find out. I think you. So he says, no, I just send you hearts. I said, no, don't give me that bullshit. And I said, you want to get into my pants, right? And then he started laughing. He said, yeah. So I told him, if they find out you talking to me like that from Iran, they're going to kill you. Bro, you better stop talking. So anyway, it's enough with the gay stuff. There's a lot of people waiting on questions and stuff like that, and so I really meant no disrespect in things I say about you guys. I mean no disrespect against any group, My daughter, my granddaughter is biracial. My son, my grandson, his mother was Mexican. And I had told my niece, marry a Chinese guy. This way on the holidays, we don't know what the fuck to eat. Watermelon, chicken, fucking tacos, Chinese food. So my house is like the League of Nations. So I am definitely not homophobic or anything else. So let me go on to the questions. And everybody's fucking throwing things at me to try to shut me up. But that's what live is, right? I'm not supposed to shut me up. All right, guys, I'm gonna go forward with this and answer some questions and
You're on a roll, Sam. That was
I'm
awesome.
on a roll.
That was great. Okay, Billy Ryan in your super chat. Sammy, could you give us your thoughts on Sam de Calavante?
De Cavalcanti.
Yes.
Sam, they used to call him Sam the Plumber. He owned the plumbing company, Sam the Plumber. His name was Sam de Cavalcanti. It's the family right over the bridge in Staten Island. It's the Cavalcanti family. That's the people that they emulated in The Sopranos. It was supposed to be them, right in Jersey, right over the border. So he was the boss of that family. Then he left, and a guy named John Riggy became the boss of the family. I didn't know Sam the Plumber, honestly, but I did know Riggy, and he had two sons, one big fat one and a normal one. So.
Did you ever get into the Sopranos series, Sammy?
No, I watched The Sopranos, yes, when I was out of prison. Then I went in prison. Some prisons showed it, some prisons didn't. It was, it's mostly fiction, but it was based on that family. I think it was extremely well done. I loved it. Whenever I could watch it, I watched it. And now I've got somebody talking to me about my scripted show. And here's exactly what these guys told me, people told me. They said, your scripted show, we're going to do exactly something similar to The Sopranos. The Sopranos on steroids. Somebody's yelling at me. It's Sopranos on steroids. And because there's a lot of truth in mine, and unlike The Sopranos. It was my phone. I put it on silent, and I probably put it on the wrong thing, and it's screaming at me. So that's where I'm at with that. This cold is killing me.
Do you have a favorite character from Sopranos, like Polly Walnuts or Big Pussy?
No, I didn't like Big Pussy. He wasn't bad. I liked the part where they had the fish, where he was sleeping with the fish. But I liked Tony Soprano was my favorite. I mean, I really, really liked him. He was the best. I love his problem with going to a psychiatrist and all that shit. In reality, if a boss went to a psychiatrist, you can't tell him your problems because you can't talk about the mob. And that's all he knows about. It's like me. I mostly, especially when I was in the street, what do I know? I know nothing. I knew business. I knew a few things, but everything I knew was the mob. So I would have to talk with a psychologist or a psychiatrist with that. That's not allowed. They would either make him step down or they would kill him. So, but they did was brilliant because it made you understand what he was thinking. He's talking to the psychiatrist. We watched it. We knew what he was thinking, what bothered him. It was a brilliant move in the movie. My hat's off to those people who did that movie.
Do you remember a scene at all that was really captured your attention? That's exactly what we did, or that's just like how we did it?
Oh, listen. They were close on a lot of things. The way we hung out, and they had that strip club, Bada Bing, Bada Boom, whatever the name was. There was places like that Goodfellas and people owned. A lot of things, the way they did, some of the rough stuff, how they talked and did business. They talk about doing construction. They were doing it with the people in New York. So, there was a lot of truth to it, but a lot of exaggerations. And they knew the truth and they exaggerated it into a movie, into a scripted show. So my show is what I'm explaining to them is going to be based on a lot more truth. It's going to be like The Sopranos, but a good part of it is going to be truth. Now, I say a good part because Hollywood always does things that, they want you to enjoy the movie. And I'm cool with that. But I got people writing it now, and there's a lot of truth going to be in mine, and good actors and actresses and whatever.
Thank you, Sammy. Leo Velasquez, in your super chat, did you and Gotti eat at Sparks Steakhouse ever, or did you guys have a favorite place you frequented to eat?
Well, there's places all over New York. I did eat. I don't think John Gotti ever ate in Sparks, but I did eat in Sparks. I ate there a couple of times, 2 or 3 times at the most. I went there one time at a meeting, and Paul requested me to be there, and I ate with him and a few other people. And it was so good. The place was great, top notch. And I went back, I believe, with my wife one time, and she's going to choke on this, and one time with my gumata.
Moving along, in the super chats, Love Life. Hey, Sammy, how was the humor in the mafia? Did you guys play pranks on each other?
In the mob, yeah, without a doubt. I mean, guys goofed on each other left and right. I'll give you an example that I thought was funny. With the old man Peruta, we were in Tato's club, we were playing poker, and there wasn't enough players, so the partners got to play to keep the game going. So I was playing, Peruta's playing, and we had this guy who hung out with us. We used to call him Tom Jones because he had his hair, a permanent, so his hair was really curly like Tom Jones. And so we used to call him Tom Jones. So we were playing, and we were playing $1 to $3 or something like that, just to keep the game going, and then we'd raise the stakes later. So Peruta gets really mad, and he says, "Oh my God," he says, to be stuck in this game $1,500 in a couple of hours is fucking crazy. We're playing $1 to $3. So he's complaining. So Tom Jones tells him, he says, Joe, I'm stuck about $1,500. I mean, it's not a big deal. And Peruta, with a dry sense of humor, just turned around and looked at him, and he says, when I said you got to be a jerk-off to lose $1,500 in this game, who do you think I was talking about? And we just completely busted out laughing because Tom Jones should have never said I'm stuck $1,500. But we always goof on each other and with different things and stuff like that and have fun. Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
That's awesome. Rigid Ironworks, in your super chat, Sammy, I'm in Cleveland. Did you deal much with the guys in Cleveland?
In Cleveland. No, I really didn't do anything with the guys in Cleveland. I'm trying to think. I don't even think I met many of the guys in Cleveland. I might have met somebody once. I remember there was a sit down and John wanted me to be there. Something about Cleveland. I don't even hardly remember it. So, no, I really didn't do anything with Cleveland. So...
El Gato, in your super chat, Salute Sammy, what is your favorite equipment for hits and self-defense, calibers and weapons models?
I never really had a favorite. They say a hitman uses a 22. The reason why you would use a 22, first of all, it's easier to conceal, it's quieter. When you shoot a guy in the head with it, the bullet could go in your head. It really don't have enough power to come out, but it spins around inside, so it makes your brains like scrambled eggs. And it's a deadly gun for that reason. The cops used to have a 38. I like 38s. I don't like automatics. I like a revolver, because they never jam. I once had a revolver jam, and I paid the price for it. It's one of the times that I got shot. and I liked a 357 Magnum. You could hit a car or a truck coming at you. You blow the whole fucking front of the car up, the truck. So imagine what it does to your body or to your head. It's so powerful, and the power comes from the speed of a bullet, the impact that it has. So it goes in, a 357 Magnum goes in your body like the front of a bullet, small hole coming in, blows everything in its way out of the way. By the time it comes out of the back of you, the hole is like a donut hole. So it really does a lot of damage. So I never had a favorite. I can use anything. Shotgun is with 00 Buck Magnum. Sort of shotgun is a devastating weapon. There's all kinds of weapons. And I never had a favorite weapon. I used different weapons at different times. This is going to sound a little strange. I'm really not into killing. Listen, I was a hit guy, and I was ordered to do things. I did them. When I was in the military, if I was told to go to Vietnam, I would have killed people. That's the way I am. But do I like killing people? No. I kill bad people when they break the rules. Even them people, I saw the impact on their families. When you're dead, you're dead. But the families, the wives and the kids and the devastation it is, I really always tried to avoid it. I just happened to be very effective as a hit guy, and I was picked by bosses to do hits. From the Colombo family, the Gambino family, from Paul Castellano to John Gotti, I was picked. Some of them I chose, and I agreed that they should be hit, but I'm really not into, I don't like killing. It's not. I can do it, but I'm not a fan of it. I'm not. Roy DeMeo and people like that, they're ghouls. I don't look at myself that way. If I could avoid, I would think nothing of throwing a punch or giving you a beating, but killing people's like another whole thing, and it hurts so many other people. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not somebody who enjoys doing it. I'm really not. So I don't have a favorite weapon.
I think you've saved a lot of people too.
Yeah, there's people I did save. Many people. And they know that they're out there now. Some of the people I've saved.
Okay, in your super chat, Sammy, Petar Milic. Hi, Sammy. Is there anything you can tell us about Bosco Radonovic, a.k.a. the Hugo? My family is from Serbia, so I'm very curious.
Well, he was Yugoslavian, I believe. He took over the Westies. When the Westies went to prison, he became the boss of the Westies. That's an Irish gang that was affiliated with the Gambino family. He became the boss. I knew him very, very well. He was a real tough guy and a good guy. Little crazy, but good guy. When he took off, he went to Yugoslavia. He went into the war in Europe. And he was working for Milosevic, he became his right-hand man, his hit guy. So he was a super tough guy. When he came to the United States, he got busted. He fixed one of the trials with me, one of the John Gotti trials. They didn't never caught him. When he came back, they pinched him. Now, they wanted me to testify against him. I was already done testifying. And flip him and make him testify against Milosevic. I refused to testify against him. He was in jail, I believe, 5 months, and they had to release him. A writer, a friend of mine, went to Yugoslavia and did a story on him and wrote a big article and about him in the war over there. And he brought my name up to this writer. And he said, Sammy wouldn't testify against me. I love him. If he ever needs anything done, he's died couple of years ago. But I have the magazine. It was in Life magazine, the article, the writer, his story. Great guy as far as I'm concerned. A little wacky, a little too tough, a little crazy. You know, I'll give you an example. One day he pulled up in front of John's club about a half a block away. So John said, go see what he wants. And it was Bosco. He was in a limousine. And he walked over and he says, I got a gift for John. I said, what is it? I'll give it to him. You could give it to me. Over here, you know, there's cops and people watching us all the time. So he opened the door of the limousine and there was a couple of broads in there, half naked, snorting coke. And he said, John could come in the back. I told him, are you fucking crazy, bro? There's fucking FBI watching us talking right now. You think John's going to come over here and get in the car? I'm not even going to tell him what you did. Get in the car, get the fuck out of here. It's the wrong time in the wrong place. And I don't think John would do that no matter where you are. I don't think so, but I know he wouldn't snort coke, but the broads, who knows? But that was Bosco. Great guy. I loved him. He was funny. He was crazy, but a tough guy. Boss of the Westies. Went to Europe, and he fought in the war, I believe, until he died.
Great story, Sammy. In your super chat, Yaniris, did you deal with any Greeks in New York mafia-wise?
I did. There was Pete the Greek. There was a lot of Greek guys who were affiliated with the mafia. Some of them were directly in the mafia. There's some Irish guys who were in the mafia. They couldn't get made because they have to be Italian on their father's end. So they couldn't get made, but they were good guys. They were connected. You know, I had guys with me who couldn't get made. Michael the Bat was one of them. His father was French, and he couldn't get made, but he was one of my top guys, one of my top guns. So they're around us, but they can't get made. And then they got, you know, a Greek underground. I don't know what they called them, but I never dealt with them. But I know each country has a, you know, group of patriots, or I'll call them, in their own countries. I get messages now from Ireland and places like that. Now, I know a lot of Irish guys, and they're tough guys. You know, they fought in a few wars themselves, and then they become underground, which is like the mafia. A little different, but they're hooked with mafia guys and stuff like that. So there are a lot of good guys in a lot of different races and stuff like that. Even black gangs, Mexican gangs. So they're hooked with the mafia in one way or another. So, but I don't know too many of them personally.
Nice. Marcus Majors with his weekly envelope for you, Sammy. Did you know Billy Batts?
No, I really didn't know him personally. I knew of him, real tough guy. I didn't know him personally. Now, Billy Batts, that's not the guy in Goodfellas.
That's Goodfellas.
Oh.
Get your shine box.
Yeah, get your shine box. I mean, he fucked with the wrong guy that night. He was a tough guy. He was a made guy in the Gambino family. And he talked a little too rough to the wrong guy, and he got whacked. That's why Joe Pesci played Tommy, and that's why Tommy got killed. They killed him because of that murder. I didn't know him personally, no.
Fun for a reason in your super chat. Hello to Sammy again from Estonia. Can you please tell us a good story about Carlo Gambino, and how often did you meet, or how often at all soldiers or capos would meet a boss?
Well, soldiers and associates especially, they don't meet a boss too often. Carlo Gambino was a great boss. Matter of fact, Michael Franchise just did an interview about, you know, one of his conversations that he does about Carlo Gambino. And he was right on the money. If you listen to that interview that Michael Franchise did, he says it himself, and he's from another family. He was a great boss. He was very, very low-key, not like Al Capone, Not like John Gotti, total opposite. Abided by the rules. He became a boss of bosses. He was very low key. I met him once. I went with Tato. I wasn't a maid guy. I was transferred from the Colombos over to the Gambinos. When I was with them for a while, Tato said, take a ride with me. We went to his apartment on Ocean Parkway. He had a home in Long Island. I'll show you how low-key he was. He got his sons, or Tommy Gambino's sons, got him a new car, a Cadillac, brand new Cadillac. And he drove it around. It's a beautiful car. And he called his son, Tommy Gambino, in, and he said, get rid of this car. Get me my car back. And Tommy said, why? It's a beautiful car. He said, yes, everybody looks at it. We're not supposed to have things like that. We're not show-offs. Get rid of this fucking car and give me my car, an old car, beat-up car. That's what he wanted. He was a little old man, big nose, hat brimmed up a little bit, old man suit, nothing fancy about him at all, ever. Low-key as they come, and a great guy. Everybody loved him. Very fair with everything. You couldn't get of course you got to get your hits approved by the boss. He didn't kill people that easy. It was like pulling teeth. He's another guy. He would do it as a last resort, give an order, but he would always look for another way around it to try to save the guy, give the guy another chance or something. So he's a great boss.
Thank you. Jamie in the super chat. Hi, Sammy. Could you say hello to my dad? Watching you for the first time tonight. Also, is your name Jimmy Moran? Jimmy Moran is my grandfather's name.
Really, my name isn't Jimmy Moran. Here's how my name became Jimmy Moran. When I cooperated and I went, they wanted me to go in the program. You had to change your name, and I didn't want to change my name. But they broke balls. You had to change your name. So they said, think of a name. Now, I was in prison with a guy named Junior Moran. He's a guy who did work in Philadelphia. He was doing a life sentence. I was good friends with him. So I thought he wouldn't mind if I just used his name. His name wasn't Jimmy, but I used his last name, and I called myself Jimmy Moran. The marshals gave me that name. I walked around with that name for about a year. I quit the program in 8 months, actually. Came back and changed my name back to Salvatore Gravano. But for about a year, I had that name, Jimmy Moran. It was a little weird. I'll give you another stupid story with that. I was I came to Arizona, and I was looking for a place to live. So I went into country. They were selling these 5-acre little farmettes, a farm. You can make a farm out of it, 5-acre piece of land. Put a bond and a few things, and I had a farm once. So I thought I'd have that. So something to do, and I would live there. And I pulled my car in, was looking off the road and looking at this piece of land. And the guy had a tractor on the other side, pulled over up to his fence, and he says, how you doing? You looking to put up a farm? I looked at him, I said, yeah, I think so. He says, yeah, it's great. What's your name? And he said his name. So I said, Jimmy. He said, no, that's not the way you introduce yourself. I told you my first name and last name. What's your last name? I thought it was a little weird, but fuck it. I says, Jimmy Moran. And he says, oh, good, an Irish lad. I said, yeah. He said, good, as long as there's not one of them greaseballs moving in here. So I wanted to hit him a punch in the fucking face, but I left. He didn't know I was Italian, and I was Sammy the Bull. But, I love Irish people. This guy was a complete asshole. But I had that name for a while.
Nice. Thank you, Sammy. Dexter Morgan, super chat. Sammy, did you deal with Ronnie One-Arm? Any stories?
Ronnie One-Arm was with Nikki Scarfo, who was a captain, little Nikki, and his brother Jojo. He was born, I think, with one arm. So when you're born like that, In other words, that's all he ever knew. His other arm was very, very strong. He was able to do just about everything. He was a very dangerous guy. He was a hit guy, believe it or not. And I didn't deal with him. I knew him, but he was with Little Nicky. I didn't really deal with him. I saw him with Little Nicky a lot of different times. Shook hands. How you doing, bro? You know, and I understand he was a real good guy. I think, this is just, I'm not sure, but I think he became a made guy. I mean, he was handy with a gun and tough guy. Even with his hands, he'd fight you with that one arm, and he was pretty tough from what I hear. So, and he seemed like a real nice guy.
Nice, thank you. Marcus Majors in the super chat. In your opinion, Sammy, were the Gambinos better under Paul Castellano or John Gotti?
Now that's a great, great question. I think, you know, the history is going to show that I think they were better under Paul Castellano. He was more quiet, more reserved. He got in trouble. A lot of people got in trouble. But the whole family didn't get in trouble. He wasn't show-offish. John Gotti brought the entire government down on not only the Gambino family, the whole mob. He had them so fucking enraged that they went after everybody. So, you know, me and John, when we took over, we lasted not even 5 years. A little bit under 5 years. So, if he was quiet and low-key, we might have lasted 10 years. And there's a lot of guys who would have never got pinched. He forced guys to come in and meet him. Even when I cooperated, the agent said, we loved John. He brought guys in we never even knew were made guys. But they all had to go there every week to pay homage to him. So he hurt a lot of people in a way. So I think the answer to that question would have to be Paul Castellano.
Great. Leo Velasquez in your chat again. Was the book Murder Machine pretty accurate?
Now, the book, Murder Machine, is that the one with Tommy Karate?
That's a great question as well. I don't know.
I look it up to make sure so I know what I'm talking about. I think that was the book about Tommy Karate. It was in the Banana family. I didn't read the book. I knew Tommy. He was a tough guy. He did a lot of work. And if that's who you're talking about, I liked him. You know, guys say he was a serial killer, he was this, he was that. I don't know. I don't know about all that. I know he did a lot of work. I wouldn't label him that. I liked him. He was a good friend to me. And so if that's who they're talking about, now they could be talking about Roy DeMeo.
Roy DeMeo gang. Yeah.
The Roy DeMeo game. Now, that fucking was the Murder Machine. I didn't read his book either, that book, but they were serial killers. Roy DeMeo and his whole fucking crew became serial killers. They were killing people for no fucking reason whatsoever. They were killing people. I mean, there's a million stories with Roy DeMeo, and I'm going to get into it because so many people are asking me. They've heard some stories. I know 100 stories with Roy. I was actually pretty friendly with him. You know, we got made around the same time. His boss, Nino Gaggi, came from Bensonhurst, Brooklyn. And I was very close with his boss, Nino Gaggi, and Louis Melito, and a whole bunch of guys. And that's how I met Roy. And so he would always come into Bensonhurst, Brooklyn, and pay homage to his boss. Nino was a captain. So I saw him many, many times. I got friendly with him. But once I realized how fucking nuts he was, I pulled away from him a little bit. You know, it's not that I was afraid of him. Well, I guess I could say, yeah, maybe I was afraid of him. You know, the guy's sick. So, you know, you have it in your mind. You don't know what the fuck is going to make this guy explode. So it's not fear. It's not knowing. You know how dangerous he is. You know what he's doing. He's killing people, chopping them up for no reasons. You know, one time he told me through Louis Melito, he talked to Louis Melito, who was friendly with him, because they were in the car business. Louis Melito was in the car business too. And he told Louis to ask me to kill 2 car dealers in Bordentown, the place where you buy the used cars. That they will go on auction. He would give me the guy's cars, and I would say, listen, I'm interested in buying them. They never let you just drive it. They gave you the keys, they got in the back seat, they made you drive around this huge lot, and if you wanted the car, you could buy it from them. So that's what I was supposed to do. Tell them, you know, I'm interested in this car. All right, here's the keys, drive us around. So as I'm driving, I go to the back of the parking lot, stop the car, turn around, shoot the 2 of them, kill them. He gave me the whole plan. And he told me that this is okay. He told Louis Melito, tell Sammy, this is okayed by Paul Castellano. So when Louis Melito told me, I said, listen, I'm pretty close with Paul. Paul didn't tell me nothing. Don't you think Paul would tell me you're going to do something with Roy? So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go up to Paul. I'm not going to ask him, because I don't believe that this is true. But if he don't say something to me, my answer is fucking no. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to do one of his sick shits. And I didn't do the hit. And he got a little mad at me. He did it himself with some other people. But Roy was a sick puppy. You know, and you got to be careful for people like that. They lose their mind. They cross the line. They're not dealing with reality anymore. These are real sickos. So I wasn't afraid of him, but I was afraid of what he does.
The book said that there was over 200 murders.
He told me himself that him and his crew committed 200 murders in his club. And because I went in one day, Paul was going to make guys. And I said, Roy, you got some good guys around you. Paul's going to make people. You putting anybody up? He said, Sam, I could put everybody up. My coffee boy killed fucking 30 people with me. What? The coffee boy killed 30 people. Yeah. And he had an uncle who would be in the bar. Dracula, they used to call him. Part of the murders. And he says, Sammy, we killed over 200 people. I said, 200 people? Who gave you all this work? I mean, that's an enormous number. He said, no, I do a lot of work for the family and everything like that. He said, but I do work personally, and I keep my guys sharp. When Dracula calls me in the bar, somebody's there drunk, 4 o'clock in the morning, nobody's in there, he calls me up. I tell my guys, stop playing cards. We go in, we grab him, we bring him in the club, we kill him, we chop him up, and we get rid of him. A legitimate guy who did nothing. Yeah. Why? We got to keep them sharp. You know what I mean? You do that, right? My answer was yes. I don't do that. But I said, yeah, I do that too, yeah. But when I left, I said, this fucking motherfucker's nuts. Just keep him sharp. What the fuck? So I heard it out of his own mouth that he killed over 200 people. And listen, a lot of guys exaggerate. This guy didn't exaggerate nothing. He killed a fucking ton. I don't know the exact number, and that's why they got killed. We don't have serial killers. When you cross the line, you do shit like that, and that's why he got taken out.
And these murders were happening, is at the Gemini Lounge?
Most of them happened right at the Gemini Lounge. When he got a contract, they happened in different places at different times, but most of those happened at the Gemini Lounge. And that's why they call that fucking place was a dungeon. And his uncle, they called him Dracula. I mean, come on.
So was the neighborhood, so the Gemini Lounge had that reputation, if you lived in that neighborhood, you knew, stay clear of there, or what was?
No, I don't think people know. No, I don't think, I didn't know. I mean, once I was talking to him and I heard other guys talking, then I knew what he was doing. But I didn't know he was killing that many people. No, I'm sure the people didn't know. Even the cops didn't know. They would have raided the fucking place.
Sadan 2324. Sammy, here's my envelope. Can you talk about Joey Massing and the 3 Caps murder? Thank you so much.
Who?
Joey Macing, and the 3 Caps murder?
The 3 Caps? No, I don't think I heard of that. The 3 Captains?
Yeah, captains for short. 3 Captains murder?
Well, you must be talking about the 3 captains in the Bonanno family when there was a takeover. There was Sonny Red, Trini, and Philly Lucky. They killed all 3 of those captains who were conspiring to take over. Joe Massino and other people. Matter of fact, the guy who was the boss in Canada, Nicky Rizzuto, whatever the fuck his name was, he came in on that hit. And it was a hit and was sanctioned by, some people. Matter of fact, they buried those bodies. I think John Gotti was involved, not him, but his crew, to get rid of one or 2 of the bodies or something like that. So there was a whole big thing about that. I had no part in it, but I did hear about it. I knew about it. I was already a made guy when that thing took place.
Tria in the super chat, tell us a story about Nikki Scarfo you haven't told.
Nikki Scarfo that I haven't told. I don't know. Now I got to remember every story I told. I know I told a lot of stories with Nikki Scarfo. Here's something I will tell you. I'm working on doing an interview myself with his nephew, Phil Leonetti, who was the underboss, and his partner, who's a lawyer. I'm trying to put together an interview, me interviewing the 2 of them. And so I could tell you that. As far as, I think I told a lot of stories about Nikki. I'd have to remember which one I said what to, whatever. One time I went there and I had a meeting with him. I think Phil Leonetti talks about the meeting I had. I went to this bar and he had an after-hour club with some people and the place was packed. I had dinner with him. And he was asking me about certain things. He was having trouble with the casinos, getting into the casinos. They knew he was a criminal. He couldn't get in, couldn't get involved. So I told him, bro, you can't bully the casinos and these legitimate people. Your way in is through the unions. Get in through the unions. And I gave him a couple of examples. And right after that, he did. He hooked up the people who do clean the linen, the hotel people who work in the places, maids, stuff like that. And he started putting pressure on them and opening some doors for himself. He opened up a concrete company. He got some blessings with the union. He took over the union. It was easier to take over unions than take over a casino. So now he was making a ton of money. He had called me back and he thanked me. He said, Sammy, I took your advice, but 4 months, 5 months, whatever it is, passed. He said, I'm making a ton of money. And I don't fuck the casinos. I don't have to go in. I'm making money by building them or charging them money through the unions. He said, great advice. So I don't think I ever told that story, but I'm going to bring it up if I do the interview with his nephew, Phil. I'm going to bring it up. He remembers that, I'm sure.
Lantonio in the super chat. Hey, Sammy, just want to show love. No questions. I respect you and love you, brother. Keep your health. I have terminal cancer, but prayer helps me the most.
Hey, bro, that's a man's man. Here's a guy suffering from cancer, and you're praying for me. Listen, from this day on, I pray for you, bro. I really, really do. That's a fucking man's man. He don't even want to answer me a question. He wants to pray for me. I love you, bro. I really do. I love people like that. Good people. And you have balls. You're a man's man.
JB Weld, any made guys just disappear from the life once they had some cash? And if they did the families pursue them?
Some guys, I think, left the life. I think Sam the plumber was one of them that left the life. And no, nobody goes after them. Who gives a shit? It's his money. They're only too happy when a guy, especially a big guy, leaves the life because it leaves an empty position. Everybody wants to grow. So everybody's like, hey, take care, goodbye, good luck. They don't give a fuck. And if you have something going, it'll be taken over by other people, a union, a bit, whatever. So they don't pursue them, no. But they don't really allow you. When you're made for life. They'll allow guys got cancer, like let's say, and he's going to leave. They'll let him leave. If they need him, they'll call him back. And I'll give you an example. A guy is dying of cancer. And they'll call him back and say, listen, we got a hit that's almost impossible. It's going to be right in the police station. Go in and kill the guy right in front of the cops. They'll ask him to do that because he's got no more life left. So what's the difference? If he dies from the cancer or he gets shot by the cops, it's not done. I mean, but a rare case, it could be done. You could be asked. But I don't know of any real cases that they've done that. The thing with the Kennedys, there's a situation like that. I don't want to get into it because now I got some heavyweight people asking me. I do know a lot about the Kennedy things. You know, but I don't really know anybody personally, you know, who actually did that. So, but you could be called at any time. You're a made guy till the day you die. I don't give a shit if you cooperate. You're out of the life like I am. But it's a blood oath. One way in. You walk in and you get carried out. So it's over when you're dead. No other way.
Andy Kim in the super chat. How accurate was Armand Asante in the HBO movie Gotti?
Listen, Armand Asante was a great actor. He acted the shit out of the part. There was a lot of truth to that movie. It was done very, very well. I mean, I didn't like my character, but it was done very, very well. So there was a lot of truth, but he brought that part over great. He's a great actor. Did a great job. He even resembled John from time to time. See, the second Gotti with
Travolta.
John Travolta, it was nothing like John. I mean, it was a horrible movie. But the first one, you feel a little bit like him. A lot of truth, a lot of exaggeration. Great movie, great actor. That's what I could say about it.
Did Armand Asante, could you tell that he studied Gotti's mannerisms or the way he would shake your hand, or did he get close to you? Did he get his mannerisms down?
I don't think so. I think he might have watched videos. John was in prison when they did that, so I don't think he could study him up close, no.
Sadan2324, back in the super chat. Sammy, have you heard from Joey Massino? I heard he is free. Would you ever talk to him again?
No, I would never talk to this fat bastard again. I'll tell you why. Not because he cooperated, because when he became the boss, he made his brother-in-law a made guy. Now, none of us knew. His brother-in-law was a prison guard, a cop. The worst fucking thing you could do in the life. Not only did he make him, he made him a captain, he made him the underboss, he made him the acting boss when he went away. I met with Sal Vitale a bunch of times. How could you do that? It's the worst fucking, you broke every rule in the book. And you knew him as a kid, so you know exactly what he was. So if me and John were on the street and we would have known that, we would have killed him and his brother-in-law in 2 minutes flat. And I won't just say me and John. I would have think Chin or anybody would have killed him in a fucking second. Then, when he cooperated, he had the guy, Vinny Gorgeous, an up-and-coming guy, super tough guy. They called him Vinny Gorgeous because he owned 4 or 5 beauty parlors, and the name of the beauty parlor was Gorgeous, Be Gorgeous or something like that. And they called him Vinny Gorgeous. Real tough guy, and real loyal. Joe Massino calls him up. He wants him to kill a prosecutor for him. And he's sitting with agents all wired up. The guy don't know, and he agrees to do it. He's pinched. He's doing life. He's still in prison. He'll probably die in prison, this guy, Vinny Gorgeous. Matter of fact, one of his guys, you met him, Anna, Dominic, when he came down.
That's right. That's right.
He was a captain under Vinny Gorgeous. When Vinny Gorgeous was taken over, that was his right-hand man. And I'm going to do an interview with Dominic in the very near future. And so to do that to a guy who's so fucking loyal to you, you're doing your time. Why would you do that? You know, he's just made disgusting moves. And he was a big, fat fuck. And I have no respect for him whatsoever. Even there's guys who cooperated with a little bit of class, and I have respect for. But the guy like that, I have no respect for him at all. He broke the rule from day one by bringing his brother-in-law into the life. And anybody who argues with that's out of their mind. But I don't think any street guy or any made guy who has any kind of common sense will tell you the same thing that I'm telling you. So no, I would definitely not sit with him.
A hard pass.
Hard pass.
Firm no.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a good interview anyway.
Torby Nielsen, cheers, Sammy. He left you a great envelope for you in the super chat.
A great envelope?
A nice size envelope for you in the super chat. He's saying cheers.
No, cheers to you too, my friend. Let me drink a little coffee. And when you say cheers, you're supposed to drink something and pick up the glass. Here's my glass.
Gabe R in the super chat, just leaving you his weekly envelope, no question. Hi, Gabe R.
Hey, hi, Gabe R.
Okay. Geo DeGreat in the super chat. Sammy, do you have any good stories with working with the Chicago outfit? Southside Cicero checking in. Southside Cicero checking in.
Well, Southside, listen, Chicago had a great group of people. I never did business with them. I was supposed to do an interview or two with one of them. I forget his name now. Who's that guy's name? The guy with have a cup of coffee. I can't think of his name, but whatever. And he passed away. But a lot of good guys in there. A lot of good guys. But I never really did anything with them.
Thank you, Sammy. You got 5 minutes left in your live. What should you tell your subscribers to do right now, Sammy? There's 1,300 here.
I got 5 minutes left of my life.
In your live.
Oh, in the live
YouTube
chat.
live,
I was
silly
gonna say,
goose.
where the fuck is he? Who's gonna do this? All right, 5 minutes. Guys, I'm sorry. Say it again.
What do you want to tell your viewers to do? You got 1,300 people live now with you.
Listen, I love the whole bunch of you. My arms ain't big enough to wrap my arms around the whole bunch of you, but with my voice, I'm telling you from the bottom of my heart, I love you people. I read the comments. I don't have people reading them. People read them. They tell me, but I read them. I love you guys. You're giving me envelopes and doing things. This guy today with cancer. I mean, how could I not love you people? I really, really do. So, do the right thing. Stay on board. I'm opening up a brand new website come March. You guys are gonna love it. I'm gonna put all kinds of content in it. I'm working on movies. I'm working on doing movies that'll be in that thing. So there'll be a lot of entertainment. I'm not gonna charge a lot. I'm gonna keep the numbers down as much as I can. And but you know what it is, you got to charge something because you got to pay the bills. And I'm expanding my team, and the guy who's got the earphones on, he's laughing that I got to pay the bills because this fuck is draining me over here. He's laughing.
We are the shakedown now, Sammy.
Yeah, I'm getting shaken down. So,
Sam, you got a loyal viewer here. His name is Scott Samara. Today is my son's birthday. He loves watching you. He wanted to say hi on his birthday.
what's his name?
Scott Samara.
Scott Tamara. Tomorrow?
Close enough.
Scott Tamara. Listen, I love you. I love your father. And if you love the show, you know, I love it. Remember, it's a show. Stay clean, keep a good life, stay away from drugs, and you could have a great life. You know, you can. There's so many opportunities open to you. You got good parents. Your father obviously loves you. I think the world of you. Stay straight, stay strong, always. That's my advice to you. That's the end?
That's the end, Sammy.
All right. Adios, motherfuckers.
Motherfuckers.